Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here back at Painted Studio. Give me a sec just to pull up myself on my screen. For some reason, Facebook has been really twitchy today, so I apologize for that. I have been having things double post. I don't know what's going on. I honestly can't figure it out. I can't even get stuff to clear up. I'm trying to, I don't know. And I'm not even showing up on my iPad as live. I don't know what's going on. And I thought it was me, but it seems to be a Facebook thing today. Okay, well, I hope you all are seeing me because goodness knows I'm not seeing myself. All right, so last week, just before Thanksgiving, we were working on our dollar store wooden trees. And what a great time. I think actually it might have been Black Friday. Yes, it was Black Friday. I can't remember when it was here. You know, the holidays start to blur things. Okay, so here's the story. We had wooden trees, or actually MDF boards that they painted and then turned into these tree shapes. Well, we did these sides of them last week. Now, this green one had sort of a little bit of a kind of chalk paint streaked look on it, but we put our glass bead gel on there, and look how pretty that made it. Now you can leave it just like that, and I'm thinking I might because I love how this came out so much. It's shimmery, it's subtle, it's pretty, and we're gonna go a little crazier on the other side. So we then put, a couple hours ago, I put Artsyville foil adhesive on the back, and it's been sitting and curing so that we're good to go with that. And this is the white tree. Now this had a really bad sort of chalk finish look on here that I really didn't like. So we took our Artsyville texture medium, put a wonderful texture over it, and then sprinkled gold nuggets, our little gold nuggets here. And all of these products that I'm discussing today you can find on paintedstudio.com. And today is the last day of our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. We are doing 30% off all tools and 30% off all in-stock foils by the foot and by the roll. And then we're doing 20% off of everything else in the studio, including in-stock Faux Effects products. Now, you know I don't ever discount Faux Effects products, but it is the biggest sale of the year, and that is a great deal. So if you want to have been thinking about getting a bunch of stuff from us, this is the time to do it because every single thing is on sale. If you find something that's not marked correctly, message me, I'll make sure it is. Anyway, so let's get back to this. We also put foil adhesive on the back of this, and we're going to play with our trees today. So, here's our green one, and I had decided last week that I was going to apply, let's put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Let's flip it back a little. And all right, so I had decided I was going to use Hunter Green foil. Now, I haven't used this foil in a while, and it's gotten a little beat up just rolling around in things. So I'm going to take this little piece off here, get it off to the side so we have some clean, fresh foil to work with. I love this Hunter Green color. It's so pretty. So let's take that. Now, we're going to normally tell you, don't cut more than you need. I cut a little bigger for the purpose of demonstration, but you know this goes into our scrap bag in the packing area. And when you order foils from us, we always tuck in scraps, so you have enough to do small projects or earrings, or even just test something with it. All right, so the first thing I like to do, now it's a little cool in my studio, and so that's why I'm a little concerned about applying foil today, but it is releasing well. Just from the way that was rubbing down, I can see we're having a good release day. So I'm going to give it a little scrub here. This is a fabric-friendly foil, so if you want to use it on t-shirts or tote bags or anything else you can think of, definitely do that. It will work beautifully. All right, let's get down here. And I like to give everything a little rub with my hands because, again, my studio's chilly, and foil adhesive and cold are not a good combination. Things like to be warm. Now I put everything near the heaters, so hopefully this is good, but it looks like it's releasing really nicely. Oh yeah, you can see my release right here. You can see how nicely that's coming off, almost 100%. And what is not 100% is likely the brush strokes in the foil adhesive. And I'm just going to come back in and rub a few spots with my fingers to see if I can release just a little more. There's a gooey spot right there. Great. That was a spot I had a little too much foil adhesive on. All right. And look how nicely that comes off. Now, I don't rip it off. I take a minute, I position it, everything, and I pull it at close to parallel with what I have it applied to. Why? Because tension isn't good, especially if you were at all concerned about how it's going to release. You really, really, really want to be kind and go gently and slowly. Because if you pull like this and it's not grabbing well, or it's grabbing too hard, you could actually rip the glue off the surface, the adhesive off the surface, and then pull the, instead of releasing the foil, you could pull it down to the paint. Now, this was perfectly cured, so we didn't have any problems with this. Again, look at how great that release is. Put that over here. Look how pretty that metallic green is on there. So nice. And I wanted this more metallic than the other side for a reason, because we're going to mix our own bead gel today. I'm going to take some of the bead gel I already have right here. Let's grab a mixing stick from over here. And if you'll notice, I reuse even the tongue depressor mixing sticks. So I'm going to take some of this. I kind of remember how much I used last time, which was a pretty fair amount. So I've got that. And then for a little more festive fun, we're going to mix in some of our red glass bead gels. Now these are a separate purchase from us. We have them in stock. They are on sale too. So I'm going to put a bunch of red in here. I don't want to make it overly red because why? Well, the tree is green. I just want to make it look sort of like a little bit of a red twinkle over the metallic green. So it's not going to be super, super dense with the red beads. But because I've just added a few more glass beads, and I might want to make this just a little bit thinner because might want it a little sheerer, I'm adding some of our Artsyville gel medium. Whoops, I almost dropped that. Artsyville gel medium. So this is a clear medium. It's basically the base for the glass bead gel. You can tint it. You can mix other goodies in here. You can use it if you want to kind of thin out the amount of beads in your bead gel, if you want a less dense mixture. You can use it to make your, like if I wanted a solid red bead gel, I'd grab my gel medium and I'd pour red glass beads into there and get it to the texture, the amount of thickness of beads I wanted. Now this is very cute. If you look in here, you can see just lots of little tiny red beads in with the clear beads, and we're going to trowel that over this. And because this side is darker than what we started with over here, we're going to have a darker, richer final look. Of course, it won't be dry when we're doing this today, so you'll have to trust me and wait until I can take a picture or show it to you on tomorrow's live, or, you know, whatever the case may be. All right, so let's start down here. Again, I am using, this is a old hotel room key that I cut in half just because this size works best for me on this kind of a surface. And you only want to make it as thick as a single glass bead if you can, because the thicker you make it, the more opaque it is. And I really want to make sure that my undercolor shines through with this too. And the other thing is, the reason I'm using plastic here is that if you use metal is not as forgiving. It's stiffer. So using a metal trowel with something like bead gel, I personally find is not as good. I find that the softer plastic, like a credit card, you know, use an expired one, old credit card, old, you know, Blockbuster card. Yes, I do still actually have a couple of those floating around in my card pile. You know, anything that you have, like old hotel room keys, stuff like that. This is what is perfect with them. Now, when I travel, I don't give back my key cards. I keep them. They're supposed to erase them, deactivate them, and, you know, have your information off of them. But I'm not that trusting a person most of the time, so I take those keys with me, and I use them for things like this. Plus, they're a great tool. My mother used to travel when she was still with us. I still have some of the room keys. She used to save up her room keys from her world travels, bring them home to me, and give them to me in my Christmas stocking with a rubber band around them, because she knew I used them like this. So I still have some from her. Actually, I have a lot of these. I used to travel a lot more than I do now, but even when I travel now, I keep them. I don't like it, you know, I'm a little funny about the hotel room keys, because when a lot of these room keys allow you to charge things to your room, go to a hotel store and purchase stuff, things like that. And that means that somehow it's connected in their system to your credit card, and I don't want to have fraud issues. I've already had a couple fraud issues. Oh gosh, somebody's texting me. I forgot to turn the notifications off on my phone. Now they're off. You won't hear them. If you've ever been a victim of some kind of fraud, you get a lot more cautious about things like this. So that's my thing. Now, don't scrape these, because if you scrape them, it drags the beads and you get sort of tunnels in things and trenches. For some reason, right here doesn't want to trowel nicely for me. And I've made my own life harder by starting at the base and working upward, so I'm going to go back up to the top and work down. Let's do this. Just dab a little bit here and here. I don't know why I did it the way I did, but I always start in the wrong direction. I guarantee it. I think it's a lefty thing, because we're lefties in a right-handed world, so we tend to start it the same way that right-handed people would, and put things in the same positions that righties do. That's not great. Because for whatever reason my Facebook is acting up for me on my iPad, I cannot see any questions or comments, so if you have them, leave them. When I get finished with my live, I will come back and I will go over them and answer anything you have questions about. Again, if you don't understand what I'm saying, it's not you, it's me. I guarantee you it's me. I'm not getting you information in a way that makes sense. So don't hesitate to ask the questions. So we're going to do this. And again, you can scrape this off the edges if it goes over the edges, which mine always does. I didn't tape off the edges because I'm not being that, that careful on this. This is, I paid $1.50 for them, and if I get a great Christmas decoration out of it, it's perfect. I'm gonna have to start having a sale at some point to start selling all this stuff that I make. I know other studios have done it, so I'm gonna probably end up doing one too. I don't know if I'll get it done before Christmas, but I will definitely have to get one done. Ooh, that big smoosh that I dragged there that I didn't want to do. Okay, so you can see that I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the card. I'm just gently using it to almost roll the beads into position. If you scrape, if I come back in hard and scrape, this is the kind of thing that happens. And let me zoom in so you can see. Okay. This scraping, this drag of the beads is what happens. That's not what you want to have happen. You want to smooth it. Okay, let's get that out of there. Part of the reason I scrape is so I don't waste anything too. I want to use, I made it a limited amount. I don't have another bucket of this, so I want to get whatever I can out of what I've created. Let's keep going here. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving weekend. I know I did. Took down all the fall and Thanksgiving-y kind of decor in my house, the pumpkins, the gourds, the fall leaves and stuff, and up went the Christmas stuff. I used to do a big tree. I have a huge tree and a ton of ornaments. Fortunately, where we live right now, I know some of you might remember, we had to move very suddenly because our other house burned. But we had to, it was in the middle of COVID, and finding a place to live was very challenging. So we had to move quickly, and the house we're in now is lovely, but we have big furniture for a small house, and there's no room for a Christmas tree. The only place that we could put a Christmas tree would be either blocking our front door or where the TV is, and my whole family would kill me if I took the TV out of the living room to put up the Christmas tree. So we are with a small tree right now. Maybe someday I'll find a way to get a big tree up again, because I do love my big tree, because it's got the ornaments and everything have so many family memories. I mean, some of them were my mother's from when she was a little girl. Many we collected all of our life, so from all kinds of travels all over the world, and it makes me so happy and remember so many things when I see them. We also had the world's ugliest Christmas ornament contest going at one point. It wasn't really a contest, it was my mother's ability to buy butt ugly ornaments. So it started when I was pregnant with my son, and I said, please don't get me one of those tacky ornaments. I know not everybody thinks they're tacky. I do. It's a personal thing. If you have them and love them, please ignore what I'm saying. But it was the ornament with the pregnant lady wearing a t-shirt that said baby with an arrow pointing down. And my mother knew I didn't care for that, so that, of course, was the ornament she got. And my sister laughed really, really hard until she got her an equally obnoxious one when she was pregnant. And then my mother used to go to St. Thomas every year for a week or so in the winter time, just to get away. And one year she found these ornaments made out of coconut, and they were pirates' faces, and truly the ugliest ornament I have ever seen, to the point we had to put it up every year because she'd come over and look for it. But it got to the point where my sister and I were each hiding ours in the back of the tree, so she knew to look in the back of the tree. It became like a funny thing after many, many years. And so she'd come over and say, "Where's the ugly ornaments that I gave you?" Knowing full well she had done it on purpose. So that was entertaining. All right, so I've got my tree covered, trying to get any little hangovery bits off, you know, stuff that's seeped over the edges. And this will dry, and it will have that same lovely shimmer as the other side. Good grief, for whatever reason, this wants to roll off this branch, and it has wanted to roll it off since I started. This branch is a pain in my butt. I don't know why this one's difficult. It must be the angle of my hand. But it'll have that same lovely shimmer as the other side, but with a touch of red in it. So I'm going to pick it up. I'm just going to check for the beads to make sure there's no big globs that I need to get off. I'm going to turn it this way because I found out last time if I do it this way, I can see along the edges from the back really well. It doesn't block. I don't get distracted by what's already on there, and it doesn't match this side, so it shows up more clearly. Okay, so that's ready to go. Let me open my screen up again. Okay, so this side is ready to go. We're going to let it sit and dry. I'm going to put it out of the way somewhere. Oh, that's not going to sit straight there. All right, so I'm going to put it here. All right, and now we're going to do this guy. Now this side is all done. If I want to put something more on there, I'll think about it, but I'm good with the white and the gold. I kind of like that. All right, so the white is a little harder to see against the white background, I know. Excuse me, I need a little drink. Talking is dry work in the winter time. All right, so we're going to use one of the transparent foils that we carry, and I don't use this one very often because it's not something that works with a lot of what I do, but this one is called Transparent Holographic Pinwheels. And it's a very cool, and mind you, on camera, that holographic rainbow shows way, way, way more than in person. All right, let me get this piece of tape off of here. Oh. And then I'm going to cut myself a piece of this. I'm going to move this for a second. Roll up so it doesn't go rolling across the room. And as I always do, I'm going to take a piece of blue tape and stick it in the corner on the side that does not go to the adhesive, because why these foils look exactly the same top and bottom. So to preserve my sanity and not screw this up, this is how I do it. Now, I'm going to try to get this on fairly square. I don't know if this is wide enough to do it the way I'm trying to do it. Maybe I want to do it this way. We'll see. We'll see how I get it on. Now, these holographic foils are can be a lot more challenging to release. They like to grab on, they like to be bound to their carrier film really well. And as you can see, some of the easier release foils, that would not have been a good thing to do. However, the holograms, you have to, or these transparent foils, you have to work them a little harder. You have to work them on the edges to kind of break the foil, because this is not just a holographic pattern printed on here. It's a clear film too that carries it. So the best way to do this, I have found, is to take your fingernail. If you don't have fingernails, take like a wooden stick like these, popsicle sticks, and go against the edges. And that sort of helps break the foil that's on the carrier film. So I'm going to give this a little scrub. I did not get this on perfectly. I'm going to have some wrinkles, so I'm going to have to come in and do some backfilling. You know, this is my thing. I don't always get things on perfect, and I'm okay with that, because I think flaws and things are beautiful. Everybody, if you wanted it perfect, you'd go and get it machine made. And we're not machines. People are not machines. So I'm going to come along here with my fingernails. And then we're going to have to work to get the start of this going. But once it gets going, it almost over releases. You just sort of have to break it. And the edge almost works like a knife on the, if you rub it well enough, it works a little like a knife on the surface to get it to start releasing really well. Now right here, I'm going to have a little work to do. I'm going to have to come back in, and I can already see that I've got, where I picked it up, put it back down, there's a little break, and there's one right there too. Let's hope I got this to break off the way I need it to, because this one, once you get this going, it's very, very easy, but it'll almost over release because it wants to peel off of the backing in like a solid piece. So you might have a little extra on some of the edges. That's not a hard thing to get rid of. That's not a bad thing. It's just a little more work to get them started sometimes. Let's get this on here. I got a little bubble going, so maybe that'll help me out. Oh yeah, that's starting to come off really well. Oh, look at that. That's coming out really nicely. A little piece right there that needs to come off. There we go. Like I said, once you get them going, and some can be more challenging than others. Some of these are really easy to get them started, like this one is really working well starting. Some of them, it'll take more work. Come back in there and get that in there. Oh, come on. There we go. And then you can just lay them back down and give them a scrub to get them to release if they're not releasing 100% the way you want them. Alright, come on. Come on, folks. Come on, fellas. Let's go. I don't know about you, but I talk to my projects. I'm very quiet all day long in my workspace when I'm working, except when I'm talking to my projects. Down. Oops, that doesn't want to let go. Now, again, it was cold in here. My foil adhesive may be a little gloppy on here. I don't remember how well I put it on. It was obviously perfect on the green tree, but again, that's a different foil and it releases a little differently. So, okay, come on. I might have gotten it a little thicker on this one, and in the cold I can be temperamental. Right here, it does not want to let go. Oh, it's going so smoothly. I got overconfident. It was going too smoothly. Come on. There we go. Off. Now, the fact that this is sticking together a little bit tells me my foil adhesive could have used some more cure time. If you have trouble getting any foil to release, let your adhesive cure up longer. Quite frankly, that is almost always the answer, longer. Now for this, it's not going to matter so much given what I'm about to do to it. I'm okay. I'm just feeling to see if there's any sticky parts that I can release a little bit of this on. Because you won't really see all the details. I'm going to throw this. Okay, that piece can come off. Let's throw this back on here. Give that a little more scrub right in that center spot where all the creases were and everything wanted to kind of grab up. Okay, I got a little more on. I'm good with it. Now again, this is far from 100% perfect release, as you can see. If you look at it up close, you can see there's spots that I didn't get a great release. That's okay. Why? Because we're going to take this glass bead gel that we did before. We're going to take some more glass bead gel. Let's get my little stick in here. The other side I did with plaster, but I love sparkly things at Christmas, so I'm trying to share some options here. So I'm going to mix that in. I'm going to take a little more gel medium. Why am I adding more gel medium? You'll see in just a minute. I'm going to need a little more medium to mix things. We're going to take some of our tinsel glitter. Look how pretty that is. Let's get that out of there. We're going to mix tinsel glitter in here. And then we're going to take some of our shamrock green glitter. Look at that, a great Christmassy green. It's great for St. Patrick's Day, but the color is shamrock, and you can use it for all seasons. So, and then I want just a touch more red beads. I'm going to give this a mix, see if I'm happy with the composition of it all. But I want to use this holographic pattern as the background and give it a little more unique depth and shimmer than just a plain silver or pearled foil. This will give a little extra visual interest to it. And let's see. This feels a little stiff, so I might need to put a little more bead gel in, gel medium in here. That's one of those things you can tell by the touch. If it doesn't feel like it's going to spread easily, put a little more gel medium in. Again, I don't want it so thick that it becomes opaque. And I'm not putting so much glitter or so much of anything in here that it becomes totally blocked up with those colors so that you can't see any of the shimmer underneath. I think this is the right combination. So if you look here, it looks a little grayish, but that's because there's silver tinsel glitter, there's the green glitter, and then there's the red glass bead gel in there. So you got kind of a lot of everything. I think I might just want a little more green glitter. This is how I cook too. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. My baking, that's precise, because I know if I'm not precise, things don't turn out that way. It's like pouring epoxy. There are things that I have to measure, there's things that I can kind of wing. Baking, have to measure. Cooking, I can wing a little bit. Glass bead gel, I can wing. Especially when I'm creating my own mixture. So we'll call this our tinsel glitter mix. All right, our Christmas tree tinsely mix. So I'm taking some of that, just like I did before. And if I'm going to zoom this picture in just so you can see. It's not a mystery how I'm doing this. It's just that it's light colors on light surface, so I know that can make it harder to see. Again, coming back, cleaning my edges. Now this tree has a totally different branch structure and stuff than the other one did, so this is actually almost easier to spread. And you know what? If I sat and thought about it, I would probably be able to come up with, 30 or 40 different combinations easily to do on these trees. I'm just showing you different materials and different fun ways of using them and hoping I spark a little idea. These trees came from, I want to say Dollar Tree. Yeah, that's what's down the street from me. So I ran in one day looking to see what they had, just to see if I could come up with anything new and different. Dollar Tree was it. They had these. They didn't have any, even, I was surprised, because they didn't have anything that said ho 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 or Merry Christmas or any of those wooden cutouts like they normally do. Maybe they have them now, so I might go back and take a look and we could put that on here. Right. I'll have to take a look at that on my way home tonight. See if I find anything like that. Again, I'm trying only to get this as thick as about one glass bead so that I don't make this so opaque that you can't see what's underneath here. How this is going to turn out? Well, what I think it's going to do and what it actually does might be two different things. I have a feeling what I should see is some of this very lightly through the glass bead gel, because even one thickness, the bead gel can be a little obscuring, just like you saw on the front of our tree here, on the front of this guy. Yes, you can see some of that pattern that was under here, but the bead gel does obscure it a little bit. But I don't think it will be so obscuring that you don't see the beautiful holographic pattern underneath here. Now, you can use any pattern you want. I chose to use a slightly bigger pattern like the pinwheels. A, because I don't use it that often. I wanted to see what it would look like under this. But B, a smaller pattern would definitely disappear. So something like the Elsa, which is snowflakes, or the baby's breath, or something like that, you'd lose what that is. It would just kind of look blobby under this once this turns clear. Whereas this might provide a more overall finished look, more consistent as a background. All right, let me come back. And I'm going to turn the tree around so I can get to this edge. And the nice thing is, these are two sides, so depending on my mood, I can show either side. And I smooshed that up in a way that I didn't want to do. I just was trying to get that bottom edge. All right, let me get a little more of this. smush some of this off of here because that's where it got thick. And clean those edges. Now you might have a little of the tinsel glitter sticking up when it dries. That's okay. If you don't like it, trim it with a scissor. Okay, so here is our finished tree with the glass beads on it. Now we're going to set, again, we're going to set that to the side to let it dry. I gotta find a flat spot here that doesn't have paper, that doesn't have 15 other things around it. There we go, very good. All right, so let's bring the camera back up. And we are finished for the day. I think these are gonna come out just as cute as can be. I'll let you know after they dry. There's already starting to dry on the green one, and it's just gonna take a little while. It usually takes overnight for these to turn clear, so be patient. Don't touch them, don't poke at them, definitely don't lay them down, bead gel side down until they're dry. And I think these are going to be fun and super festive for the holiday season. That is one of our first early December projects. Now, don't forget, our sale ends tonight. Come back to our website, paintedstudio.com. Check out a bunch of stuff, put it in your basket, 20% off of most things on the website, 30% off of all of our tools, and all in-stock foils by the foot and by the roll. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Welcome into the beginning of the holiday season. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.